let's start open forum, our weekly forum. By the way, welcome to Tapok Tapok weekly forum. It's a forum sponsored by the Publishers Association of the Philippines. And to start with, whatever denomination we have to start correct for the benefits of our guests and our members here who are here this morning. We will have this session recorded. It's already recorded, and will have to be replayed, broadcast over Manta Radio during the program of Breastfeeding, Tingog sa Lungsod, and broadcast also over Radio Nabayan, and the program of Efren Wilson over DYRA. And of course, we have columnists here. Our columnist, the editor of Freeman and Balan, Wesley, who has a column also. Our photography editor, Loy Corrado, over there. And in the middle, our IT director, Sunny Labiana. So, and yours truly, June Basabe, the Secretary of PAPI. Now, to start with, according to our members, they will be coming in. It's Friday and it's the first day of the month, so they will be late, as usual. Okay, but they will be coming in start of the show, so we have to start it so that we can have about 11:30. Anyway, to start with, let's have our guests come up with an opening greetings, opening statement before we proceed with questions and answers. Questions coming from the members of the group. Maybe have Madam here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elma Corbeta of the Philippine Retirement Authority and the officer in charge for the Visayas operations. Daghang salamat for invite nato kami din for this Tapok Tapok media forum. I will try to answer your questions if you have some later. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Kristy. I am part of Cebu Breastfeeding Club, and thank you for inviting me to talk about breastfeeding. So I see all men except for my co-guest, so I don't know how we're going to do this. But it's going to be a very interesting morning for the audience today, I promise you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kinley and Elma, for heeding our invitation to be around here. But definitely, I'm sure the mother members or the community members of PAPI Club chapters, Cebu chapters, will be around soon. In the meantime, of course, as I said earlier, this will be broadcast over radio programs of our members, PAPI later on. May I have an opening question from you once?
Okay, thank you, John. Good morning. Ang akong pangutanan regarding breastfeeding, because you are going to tackle the subject matter about breastfeeding. I don't know if there is a modern way of breastfeeding, or we are still practicing the traditional breastfeeding of our children.
Okay, so the question is there a modern way to do breastfeeding, and is there a traditional way? Breastfeeding is the same ever since time immemorial, ever since the start of humankind. You put the baby to your womb, and that's breastfeeding. There are just more modern challenges now because women work outside home and they have to leave their children at home. But we are here to encourage women to still continue breastfeeding because it can be done. We teach women ways, tips, strategies on how to continue breastfeeding even up to 2 years and beyond, as recommended by the doctors, by the WHO, even if they are working outside the home for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. We have members in our group who work 12 hours a day because they work in the bank, and then putang pa kayo ng bangko, hindi na paulit-ulit na kung 0-0 without account. So even then, completely breastfeed sila. You don't need a lot of expensive equipment na kinahanglan ng 10,000 or 20,000 ng mga breast pumps nila. No, there are many ways to do it cheaply. Anybody can afford it, even if you don't have a refrigerator sa balay, kaya na kaayo. Narami tips and tricks. Gusto yun na ako ipa-disseminate yun sa tanan ba, kaya. Pwede na kayo lang yun ang benefits. You kaya ang breastfeeding. Thank you.
What are the benefits of the children who will be breastfed by their mother?
Okay, let's do it very quickly now. No? When you breastfeed a child, the benefits not only for the child, it's also for the mother, for the father, and for the community. Let's go for the child first. Breast milk is the normal food for babies. Di ta kaingon nga mas maayo yun ang formula because anything that is artificially done can never replicate, can never be equal to the quality of natural. And tuon na, when we were still living in the caves, what may formula, sa Manila pag-uwi ko yan. Likod man di kayo mga bata kung ano kayo mga sakit-sakit karoon nga daghan na kayo, mga tambal ng immunization, mas daghan pa man yung sakit. So breastfeeding it for us is really, really healthy. There are many, many studies out there that show bilang percent better, bilang percentage points, IQ points na mo increase sa bata kung we breastfeed. There are so many other, we don't need to talk about them anymore. So that's the benefit for the child. Mas likon, mas bright. Mawala yung pinakasimple, mapag-ingon. For the mother, also benefit. Well, for me, what really made me decide to breastfeed my child was makapapayat ng kulong. So, syempre, go ko na makapayat ng kulong. Eh, ako kulong na kahit ka ang buntis ka. Makapayat without working out. O, sige ka na ako. So, syempre, makainlan yun sa mother ko. Sige, breastfeed ko. And the bonding between a child and a mother who are breastfeeding mas close yun. Dili man makainom na, langi kayo ng bataan na, pilit kayo sa mama, mas buhay kaayo, kayo breastfeed mangot, wow. It's not. The relationship is really makainom ka murag 6 cents, gani murag telegraphic mo, murag ka-wifi mo you and your child, murag di pa lang sa gusto niya, kasabot na ka kung sa'yo gusto niya papati sa inyong kay breastfed, lagi link up kaayo mo. It also lowers the risks of cancers for the mother. Tanan na lang cancers, murag uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, kaya murag feeling na mo, murag cleanse mo din mo ang body kasi na mga hugaw sa lawas to breastfeeding, murag circle, gani ang muhang blood or something. That's why women who breastfeed lower rates of cancer. And then, what are the benefits for the father? Well, kwarta. Isa pa lata ron, 1,200 daw, and it only lasts you 1 week. So, kung ina na kung papat, dati makasave ka mga 6,000 per month. Kaya syempre, botelya, sterilize, mga nipon. Change na biyan ani mo na every few weeks, every few months. Hindi to change ang kasto eh. So, kung may gusto pa makasave ka 6,000 kada bulan, go. Kung may yung papa, okay, go. So, it really saves a lot of money for the father. For the community, when a child is breastfed, the mother is less absent sa work. So, syempre, mas efficient ang iyang pagka-work. Kaya dili masakit ang iyang anak, di siya sige absent sa iyang work. And then later on, the child is healthier. So, mas maka-contribute siya to society later on. And then, in terms of kanang transporting all this milk, you can imagine how much effort, how much fuel is wasted, how much...
Compared to the baby which is fed by bottle feeding.
A mother's relationship with a child is never and all be all with the way the baby is fed. Okay? Di ta kaingon na just because the baby is bottle fed, a formula din ang uludan na. It's possible na ang uludan mo din yung breast milk man sa. So, it's never just the breast milk. It is when you breastfeed, your relationship with your child, you're close together 8 to 12 times a day. Pilit yun mo anak. So, iyang body movements, kapag ka, makainagin ka sa inyong anak. Kung type lang ka benefits of breastfeeding dito sa internet, taghang yun study upon study o gawas. I cannot recall any right now because I don't need to look at the studies to confirm lahi yun when you breastfeed a child. So, even for mothers who do want to feed, whether with formula or with breast milk, it is really just, it's really the relationship. Because there are mothers out there who, for some reason, some medical reason, example cancer, anaphyctomy, they cannot breastfeed. We cannot tell them now just because you don't have boobs and you can't breastfeed, you can never have that relationship that breastfeeding mothers have. There are ways also, it's the mother who is feeding the baby. There's a way to position the bottle, and then it's feeding the child with love that we are trying to tell mothers to do.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Winston. Thank you, Winston. And Ms. Lloyd, I just received a text from one of our directors, Attorney James Lubinica. Anyway, before that, ako, nagdako ko yung kung tutoy sa akong ina. I never experienced any bowel feeding. Ingaw ko si Attorney James nga, yes, I know June. I also grew up breastfed by my mother. Pero doon lang sige pagkapin. Ang doon lang karoon sige, tutoy pa siya. Okay, doon lang process Bugo Court. I mean, he's appearing, he has a case there, so he cannot be around. He really said, June, the topic is very, nindot kayo nga itong topic ng pero di ako scope. Pero there is Bugo. So just let me know what is happening sa inyong Mr. Magazine. Okay, yeah, okay. Kidding, Ms. Lloyd, according to Attorney James Lubinica, is there a little possibility that we find the benefit of breastfeeding a child? And takot ini katabang sa community, according to theory, makaayon in other words, the greater good, the greater number of people. Is there a possibility now of having this legislated so that every mother will have to breastfeed her child? Sorry?
You can never force someone to do something they don't want. So I don't think you can say, oh, you cannot breastfeed you or else we'll put you in jail. I don't think that's the best way to convince a mother. I don't think that's the way to go. For me, the best way to go, I think, would be really to educate them, to educate the mother and give them the choice. But I am sure every mother who makes an educated choice, di yun na siya mapaliban mo breastfeed. If I tell the mother, okay, I tell the father, okay, you save 6,000 a month, pesos. If I tell the mother, you lower your risk of cancers, your child will be smarter. I don't think a mother in her right mind will say, di ko mo breastfeed, I want the cancer. Diba? I don't think, as long as they are properly educated, you show them the facts, you let them meet people who have breastfed and who have experienced the benefits of breastfeeding, I think with an informed choice, they will say yes. We don't need to force them. And with regards to legislation, what can legislation do? Legislation doesn't need to force a mother to breastfeed. Legislation can encourage and accommodate breastfeeding mothers, which we already have. It's RA 128. I want to write that down. The breastfeeding law. RA 128/90 also. That's a breastfeeding law. The most important part of that, is that there is 40 minutes, 40 minutos, 40 minutes extra break time that a mother can have to breastfeed. Okay, not everybody knows that. So write that down. Okay, you have to avail of that. Okay, 40 minutes is on top of your regular lunch break, no 1 hour. It's on top of your 15 minutes break in the morning and on top of your 15 minutes break in the afternoon. Okay, so you have 1 hour, 30 minutes every day as your break, lunch and snacks, and then you add 40 minutes. And this 40 minutes is spread throughout the day. Diliin mo na kailangan alas 10 yun nakuha mo yung 20 minutes. You can chop it up. You can do 10 minutes, 10 minutes. You can do 15 minutes. You can do 20 minutes. It's totally up to you kung kanong saan mo feel. Okay, di mo kakailan kasi mangingi ka karoon na nga, pero unya dili na. It depends on your body. So this 40 minutes is on top of it and it is compensationable. I don't know the word. Basta dili pwede ikaltas sa imong sweldo. Dili pwede ikaltas this extra 40 minutes. And then, dili siya kinahanglan na i-approve pa sa kumpanya. All companies are required to grant this to breastfeeding mothers. In fact, one of the other details of this law is that most companies are supposed to have a breastfeeding room, but not all companies do this. That's why you notice in Ayala, in SM, they have a breastfeeding station. It's not really out of the goodness of their hearts, but it's really required by law. If you have like X number of employees beyond that, you have to have a separate place. It cannot be the toilet. You cannot say, okay, siya na mo ng breastfeeding room, din na mo pump ang mga mothers. It cannot be. It has to be a special room, malimpyo, there has to be a sink, there has to be a table, there has to be an electric plug para sa charger, and there has to be a door that you can lock for privacy. So we have the law already. So with regards to legislation, thank you.
Okay, regarding the breastfeeding club, when did you begin? When did you start the campaign to at least invite or convince mothers to concentrate breastfeeding?
How much time do you have? You want the long version or the short version? Short version na lang, let's be concise. Okay. About 3 years, let's go farther back. About 6 years ago when I had my first baby, if you typed on Google Cebu and breastfeeding, nothing comes up. If you typed in Google about 6 years ago the word Cebu and the word breastfeeding, nothing comes up. So when I had my child 6 years ago, I knew I wanted to breastfeed because everybody was saying, it's so good. Sige, breastfeed too. But I did not have anything else beyond looking at a picture of someone breastfeeding. It should be easy. So you know, just go like that, you see, they're happy. It's all that. I grew up in a community where breastfeeding was not normal. I was formula fed, I was bottle fed, all my siblings were bottle fed, all my cousins were bottle fed, because that was the uso at the time. If you're rich, you can afford it, you bottle feed. You're formula fed, wow, social, mayaman, that kind of thing. You only breastfeed if you were poor at the time that I was born. Now, needless to say, with my firstborn, it was a disaster. Anything that could go wrong with breastfeeding went wrong with me. I had sore nipples, cracked nipples, bleeding nipples. I had engorgement, mastitis with abscess. Abscess is nana. So, sakit on a scale of 1 to 10, 11. So I landed back in trauma for 2 times surgery, 3 weeks postpartum. I was admitted in trauma for 2 weeks to get the nana out. So it was really bad, really painful and really depressing as a mother. You feel, I failed my child, I'm not a woman, I can't do this, and then you feel so sad, and ano, mawala sa'yo na mag-ayaw, then ako, so pisod tayo, I don't know how to do this. So with my second child, I vowed talaga that I was going to do it right. I flew to Manila because that's the only classes in breastfeeding that I could find at that time. So I did all the research, I talked to breastfeeding mothers, how did you do it? Anything I could grasp on, I went for it. Nagtuon ko, swila ko, suya, interview ko, kaya sa tunin mo, anak, kita dito doon mo, ano ko. So with my second child, I succeeded. My second son is 3 years, 6 months, 26 days, and we are still breastfeeding. So when people found out that I succeeded with my second child, they said, no, sige, patulog sa kunin mo, Ben. And it became more and more and more. And then I realized, mag-isod naman kaayo mo text ng mga tao kung aming mga get-together. So on Facebook, we had this Cebu Breastfeeding Club. Mothers are with me. In fact, I don't think we're even registered to SEC pangalan. It's just a club now. We call ourselves Cebu Breastfeeding Club. We have a page on Facebook. We have a group on Facebook also. And then dito na, every time na we get together, which is about once a month or sometimes once every 3 weeks, it's very hodgepodge group of mothers. We're not professional breastfeeding or counselors. We do this out of the goodness of our hearts. Anybody who wants to learn how to, we will teach for free. And then what do we ask for in return? Someday, you help somebody else. We don't care who. But someday you have to stand for somebody else. So that's how the Cebu Breastfeeding Club came about. It's just a group of women who have the same goal, who felt the same way. Oh, I succeeded because of somebody helped me, and let's help somebody else. Walay pinugsanay. We are not here to say, oh, you breastfeed, you breastfeed, you breastfeed. We are more on, if you decide to, this is how you do it. Because nobody teaches how to do it. DOH is, oh, breastfeed, pero, saan mo hindi na? Pero may ka ba, pagluto na, pero waka dito ba? Mauning karahay, mauning kaldero. Walang technique pa. Una ang mantika, ganyan. Nobody teaches that. So that's what we do.
First time you heard about breastfeeding?
Yes, so breastfeeding all years. This is the first time.
Like us on Facebook.
Did you make it a survey during the percentage of those who were able to convince your way of breastfeeding for those who are not yet or still practicing the bottle feeding of their babies?
Okay. There is no one way to breastfeed a child. We cannot say, this is how we did it, you should follow us. As long as the baby gets milk from the boob, and as long as the mother is comfortable, that is breastfeeding for us. There are many ways to breastfeed. Most of the mothers that approach us really desire to breastfeed. But with regards to how long, they sustain it, it's really up to them. We all know that the WHO says, diba, in the LACA, they require breast milk is best for babies up to 2 years and beyond. But regards to each mother's personal goal, di ka force sa ila. Kung ilang goal, gusto na sila mo breastfeed for 6 months, okay, we will help you up to 6 months. If you want to breastfeed only 2 months, okay, we will help you up to 2 months. Dili mo mabubuhos na kinahanglan. 2 years and beyond, good ka na. We will not, because that is too much. But if they do decide to, beyond na sila 2 months, okay pa man, encourage mo, so wala lang 6 months. Lapas na sila 6 months, oh, you're doing well, gamayan na ka. Ma-encourage sila, sige, 1 year ka. Pag-alampas nila 1 year, makatulog naman, di ba? Or may efforts ko, 2 years ka, or maka-WHO ka, anak. So, you cannot tell a pregnant woman, 2 years, yun ka na, kaya syempre, magkahak siya ba? Kailangan baby steps, yun, marag kamarathon ka ba? Di ba? Mag-half Marisa ka, or ka naman 3 kilometer run sa, di ka kain sa isang katao nga, kailangan fitness ka ha, mag-running ka ha, mag-marathon ka ha, mag-triathlete ka sa Ironman sa Lapu-Lapu, syempre may siya, ayaw na lang, di na sila encourage mo sugod ba? So sa mo, we encourage ng baby steps, 3 kilometers, we will take it, 5 kilometers, we will take it. We hope nga, once na makatilaw na ka kung sa kalamig, you will continue on your own volition.
Is it still advisable if the mother has an illness and you will still breastfeed for your child?
Okay, can a mother still breastfeed if she is sick? Okay, let's go down the line of sicknesses. Let's go to the very basic, the common cold. Can a mother breastfeed kung isipon siya? Answer is yes. And then when you say, makakapal ang bata. By the time that the mother shows symptoms of the common cold, probably the bacteria na sa iyo ng bata. Diba? The symptoms come later. You probably infected your child already before you realize na naman di ko isipon. Or the two of you are carrying your baby, you're already exposed to the same source of the bacteria. So we highly encourage you to continue breastfeeding while you have the common cold and the sipon. Why? Because when you breastfeed your child, makuha man niya yung immunity level. A baby cannot make their own antibodies until 6 months of age. So 6 months below, asa man siya makuha o glikon sa lawas para musugod sa kaka, wala. Di ka na rin sa imuhang. So imuhang, when you breastfeed ng pandemic, mas legal to get imuhang bata. Can you breastfeed when you have TB? The answer is yes, mag-mask lang ka, and then you are on medication. So, unless you're on your deathbed dying, you can breastfeed. Even if you're pregnant, you can breastfeed. So, we only have very few instances where a mother cannot breastfeed.
Yes. Before the month, right? Any question? Before the month, okay, before the month, I'm just curious, Ms. Glory. Kining 12 years ago, I think, 25 years ago, around sekarang sa mga mother, breastfeed siya mga anak, no? But as with modern science, modern technology, high-tech na tayo karon, mas I think if you survey this our communities, mas tagal tingnan na battle feed siya mga anak kaysa ng breastfeed. I don't know if this is factual, but it appears this is so worrying. How do you account, Ms. Glory? Hindi bang muraw ang mga ilahan, muraw handle mo breastfeed, especially doon na yung misconception o ang ginagawa ng mga breastfeed, doon na yung usag, one breast, or whatever. Would you comment on it?
Those are two questions. First question is, if you breastfeed, will your boobs sag? And the second question, what was the second question? The bottle feeding, why are mothers convinced to bottle feed? Okay, I think I'll go for the first question first, it's more interesting. Will your boobs sag if you breastfeed? The answer is no. Do I need to show my boobs? I don't think so. Based on my experience, sir, the answer is no. They will not sag. I think sagging is due to lack of support and kung tampok ka and then mo paspas ka o lose weight or lose skin. I think that's the reason. And for Asian women, dili kaayo. I think sagging is more on mga na ay Spanish blood mga ana. I think mas tapuon manggod sila. For us Asians, gamayon man ta, there's nothing left to sag. So no, it's a myth. It does not sag. No, it doesn't. And then the second question, how come mothers are more tempted to bottle feed? I think it's because of marketing, wherein through advertising, they are taught to believe that buying milk in a can is healthier and more nutritious than their own milk. It's like telling a mother, you are not good enough. This can is better than whatever you can do. So it's very, maka-depress sa isang mama, maka-feel siya, weak ayaw siya, hindi na ko kaya. It's putting the mother down. Come on, think about it. For time immemorial, since the caveman age, women have been able to do this. If we were not able to do this, we'd all be dead. We wouldn't survive as a species. It can be done. It's all a matter of re-educating women that no, a bottle is not better than you. A can is not better than you. A cow is not better than you. You can do better. And this is your child, the decision is yours. Oh, by the way, singit na ko, those who were breastfed for long, si Judge, I think si Justice Hilario Davide also one time, he said that he was breastfed up to 7 years old. So maybe if I breastfeed my son up to 7 years old, but Chief Justice, but siya, madahog yun ako. Thank you.
Anyway,
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I want to direct this question to Ms. Corbeta. Can you please explain to us what is this Philippine Retirement Authority? Is this a government entity and are the beneficiaries of the benefits, and is this exclusive for women or for everybody?
you want to dive in yourself.
Thank you, sir, and good morning. The Philippine Retirement Authority is a government-owned and controlled corporation. We are under the umbrella organization of the Department of Tourism. We have been here in this public service since 29 years ago. We were created by the late Ferdinand E. Marcos by virtue of Executive Order number 1037. So that time we were under the office of the President, and I think that was in 2002 we were transferred to the Department of Trade and Industry. And then in 2009, by virtue of the Tourism Policy Act of 2009, we were transferred to the Department of Tourism. Our vision is to make the Philippines a preferred retirement destination. And it is our mission to encourage foreign nationals. Our clients are mostly foreign nationals and balikbayans to invest, reside, and retire in the Philippines. And of course, we want to uplift the economic situation of the country. We want to be a channel of that effort. So we provide them the visa, the special resident retirees visa, in order for them to stay here in our country permanently if they
A
want.
lot of questions there. In the meantime, si Madam Elma of the Philippine Retirement Authority, and of course, definitely the beautiful topic that we had about breastfeeding. I would recommend that this will be another topic that we will fund kung i-form na sa susunod na itong forum, because it's an interesting topic. Anyway, yeah. Sir?
Regarding the activities of Philippine Retirement Authority in Cebu, we discussed earlier that there are some subdivisions where foreigners are living in. Maybe you can elaborate on this, and also the plan of the government of Philippine Retirement Authority to invite balikbayans to reside in certain areas that are being developed for them.
Thank you, sir. Retirement facilities in Cebu right now, we don't really have a government managed or owned retirement facility right now in Cebu. We have a few privately owned and managed retirement facility, but it's just a pocket development or project. Like we have one in Dilian. This is run by Korean, And what they do is they just invite also their fellow Korean friends who want to be here in Cebu. And they let them lease the property, and they call it a small Korean community. We have also one German community in Alcoy, but this is also privately run by a German themselves. What we have right now, what we've been pushing right now is this project in SRP. We are lobbying, actually, I think it was in the news the other day that it has been approved by the State Council, and that is a great news because it will spur more economic activity in Cebu. Considering that if we have this Japanese retirement facility here in Cebu, daghan kaayo mga multiplier effect because of this. People who will be staying in that facility, they are retirees, they have the money, they have the capacity to spend leisure and medical and whatever they want to do here in our place. So tapos na siya na opportunity for us and for the locals to improve also on our services. So that with that, this is actually the first, that would probably be the model, a pilot retirement facility, if ever that will come to start, no? That will trigger more interest from other groups as well to put up a retirement facility in the future, knowing that Cebu can host such kind of development.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Is there any interest from balikbayans for such facilities? Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Regarding the balikbayans, since by the way, before I go with that, I'll explain briefly what our main program is. We have this special resident retirees visa. I will give you some brochures later. If you are a foreigner, just like us, if you want to go to other country, we need a visa in order for us to conveniently stay from one place to another or from one point to another. We need a visa to enter their country. Parehas na diri sa tuwa, if a foreigner or a balikbayan, di kani mga balikbayan, they are no longer Filipino citizen. Okay, they already surrendered their Filipino citizenship when they go, for example, to the US. So when they go back here, they will be issued a balikbayan visa. A balikbayan visa is only good for 1 year. So what the PRA do, we offer them a permanent residency visa. The foreigner and the balikbayans alike, we offer them the special resident retirees visa wherein they're allowed to stay indefinitely, permanently. They can go in and out of the country anytime they want, get multiple entry man sa niyang visa. That visa also allows them to do business, to invest, to retire, or to just be a plain tourist. Or if they have families, like mga Korean na mga clients, mostly they come here in Cebu in household, magulungan sila, pamilya-pamilya o manhikay, they want education, they want their kids to study here. So with this visa, that also allows our kids to study from elementary up to college. So those are some of the benefits of the visa. And of course, if they get the special resident retirees visa, hindi na sila kinahanglan magbayad ng mga immigration fees para may exit clearance. Now, we also give them tax-free importation of personal effects. Now, back to the question of the balikbayan, a lot of balikbayans who have been working after retiring, so they have to go back here. Now, a lot of balikbayans are interested, based on my actual experience, are more interested to settle in a retirement facility rather than to invest. Siguro because kasagaran sa mga balikbayan, hindi na sila ganahan mag-leisure, pahuway, na magbalik pa man sila at kung trabaho pa sila. So, most of them wants to stay here as a resident of that facility. We have actually one accredited facility here in Cebu, the Life Care Residences. But this is just a small starting pa magod sila. So, mura pa sila home-based pa, accredited by PRA, and we are pushing it to be accredited by PESA as well.
Okay, Elma. Before we proceed with more questions, Mrs. Corbeta and and Ms. Lloyd. Would like to acknowledge the arrival of our PAPI President, Engineer Greg yesterday. For the benefit of our President, our guest, our panelists here, the President is, you just heard a while ago, Elma Corbeta, Philippine Retirement Authority, and from Europe talking about more benefits for balibayans and partners who want to stay in the Philippines. What about the retirees themselves? Yan ang hindi ba mga saan ko yung retire na kasi ikatambang sa atong kapunong PAPI, Philippine Retirement Authority. For example, the benefits sa pension, mga poll, usahay, whatever, mga issues ba sa release of pension, yan, mga mga benefits under. But you can talk about this better way about mga retirement problems of retirees.
We also encourage, what we do is we encourage our foreign retirees who are here in the Philippines who have expertise on something to share it with our local retirees. Like for example, we were coordinating with this Mandawi Retirees Association, the OSCA of Mandawi, regarding there is this in Japan, I forget the name of the game, no? But we introduced this to them also. There is the Japanese Saturday and local retirees.
Thank you, Elma. Greg? Okay.
Thank you, John. Sorry for being late. I would like to ask the President of Breastfeeding, founder, this breastfeeding, are you really engaged on proper breastfeeding? Are you not engaged also on the proper care of the breast of the woman? And if indeed you are in proper care, at what stage does breast cancer should be removed? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or at stage 4? And if indeed that particular stage will be removed, do you know cure in any stage before it shall finally be scraped or taken out?
The Cebu Breastfeeding Club is a group of mothers who support each other through their journey of breastfeeding. I am not a doctor. I cannot answer you with regards to when mastectomy is required, but with regards to breastfeeding, we know for a fact that the act of breastfeeding reduces your risks of breast cancer later on. And can a mother who has had breast cancer breastfeed? The answer is yes. As long as the boob is still there and the milk-making ducts are still there, they can breastfeed. What if a mother had a mastectomy and only has one boob? Can a mother breastfeed with just one boob? The answer is yes. A mother can 100% provide for the milk of a baby with just one boob. We are built with two boobs because we are built for twins. So in fact, two boobs and one baby is more than enough. One baby only needs one boob. We have experienced that in Manila Breastfeeding Club also. That a mother went through mastectomy and left with only one boob. She was able to successfully breastfeed a baby. Tapok Tapok. It can be done.
But your group not indulge on the awareness of a certain supplement or a certain food or a certain cure that would in effect help women eradicate or get out their breast. Because if they found stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, that can probably be cured because of the saying that an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And in one of our Tapok Tapok weekly media forum, one of our guests was saying stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 cancer can still be prevented and can still be cured. Are you giving this as part of the awareness in your breastfeeding club?
Whenever we encourage mothers to breastfeed, we always highlight the benefits, and one of the benefits is really lower risks of cancers.
I am asking this awareness because part also of our program is to help your club probably being aware of the programs that Tapok Tapok has espoused about a scientist who had invented this supplement that can prevent stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or can prevent your breast to be removed. In other words, that is something that the breastfeeding club should also know.
I wouldn't know anything about taking any medication or any supplements to avoid cancers. Again, I am not a doctor and we are not here to talk about cancers. But we do we do tell mothers that one of the benefits of breastfeeding is reductions in rates of breast cancer, uterine cancer, and ovarian cancer. And I think that's a more natural way of reducing your risks of cancers, which is to breastfeed. Kaya as iyon ako kaganina, the act of breastfeeding manggod murag mahuwasan ka ni ka, murag masakaw tanan ang mga bad, whatever din nga mapundok ba. It's like for men. What's the cancer for men again? Sa may groin area? What do they call that? Prostate cancer. Something about ang ugaw, dili ma-out yung tanan. So it's the same. Kung dili mo gamiton ba, use it or lose it. So kung dili mo gamiton, pupundo ang mga whatever, bacteria ba, or whatever they call that, ang mga hormones na dili mag-flow. That's the time na something will go wrong. Why do you think that there is a risk of, there is an increase in the incidence of breast cancer and uterine cancer and ovarian cancer? Because women 10, 20 years ago were not breastfeeding anymore. So we're really na ganun low ang hormones sa ilang body. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there any possibility that breast milk of the mother will dry up, or is it a lifetime?
Okay.
Or is it a limit?
Okay. The word for that would be, again, use it or lose it. It's a supply and demand. So there is no limit to when a mother can stop her ability to make milk. As long as you keep getting the milk out, whether through a baby's mouth sucking or through pumping or through hand expression, your body will continually making milk. Murag dugo pa, muhang atay gani. Kung masige kagkuhaan ng dugo, magsige po siya himo. There is no limit na hantod 30 years old rin ka makahimo of breast milk, hantod 40 years old rin ka. So even, I know it sounds crazy, and no, I'm not a tree hugger, but even if you breastfed a baby, let's say you last breastfed your last child at 35 years old, by the time you're a lola, if you increase your boobs,
10, 20, 30 years ago, there is still milk in your boobs, and your boobs still have the ability to make milk because your milk-making ducts are still there. Murag, your tear ducts pa, maski na 50 anyos ka na, muhilak maghihapon ka, it's the same ducts. Your ducts still work. It's a milk-making duct, it's a tear duct, it's the same. Your bodily functions are still there. So you can still make milk. Let's put it this way. If we can milk cows and goats, we can milk humans. There's a technique, the way we can i-squeeze ni mo siya ba, kung sirit, ihapon na siya. It's not like anaon lang ni mo magawas. Marag, di ba, baka, kung unas bukid, there's a technique to it. Dili man mas kinkin sa lang ato dito kung ano magawas ang milk. Diba, marag, there's a technique to it. The milkmaids, the people in the farm, they know kung saan na siya pag-massage para magawas. It's the same. O yan natin. We can teach you, right? Thank you.
Do you believe that there is a breast milk as a taste, like salty or sweety?
Does breast milk have a taste? Yes. What does it taste like? Kung unsa tong sudan ni mama kaganina, maulasa sa breast milk. Seryoso. Kasi kung unsa gikaon sa mama, may lasa nga mogawas. That's why kung Korean moms, they eat kimchi. Ang flavor sa ilang milk, may pagka-kimchi gamay. That's why ilahang baby, pagtako, kung kaon ng kimchi, familiar na sa taste. So for us, kaon tagbuwat, para gamay. So pagtapos bata, kaon buwat, okay na, wala. It's a first taste of that culture's food. Dito siya makatilaw. So kung kita, mag-inom kong tsokolate ron, o niya, may pagka-hint of tsokolate. I will know it if I eat something that my son doesn't like. Like for example, kung ako kimchi, di na siya ganahan. Ayan siya, Mama, something. Ano gano'n siya, no, I don't like. Ano gano'n. So, does breast milk have a taste? Yes. Kung sa ang taste, kung sisudan ni Mama kaganina, kung naglasing sa breast milk.
How many children do you have?
I have two. I have a 6-year-old son and a 3.5-year-old. The 3-year-old one is still breastfeeding. When did I want to wean him? At 2 years old. O niya, 3 na may intawon pa ron. Do I have any regrets? No. Likun di ka siya. Kanang mga bata, kita ni mo sa kalsada sa highway, gade, kaulan, kadagani mo sa kyanan, kung nagpagpwesa nina, kaulan, dagan lang, ni ba kung sa mga bataan ni, compared sa mga bata sa syudad, siya, bigoon, wag ako'y mahal. I know it's not something polite to say in high society. Oh my God, 3 years old na, ako na, dagan nagnipon. But, some people, the same person will say, oh my God, he's too old already. But at the same breath, will say, wow, you're so determined. So, that same person will both chide you and will applaud you at the same time. So, it's really not anybody's business how long you breastfeed. It's my choice and my son's choice. If he says he's done, then we're done. I will not force him to go 7 years old, sir. No? I still have hopes, or that Chief Justice thing. I still have hopes. Call me when he becomes one. Go ahead, sir.
This is my personal experience.
Testament, sir. Testament.
We are 12 in the family.
Wow. I salute your mother.
I am the only one who is not breastfed because when I was born, my mother got sick whatever in the way, got us the bosom. Now, why is it that I was able to leave this home? I'll be 80 this October, so I will not have to get breastfed again and
I'd like to react to that. We are not saying that just because what can be breastfed, mas bigman ka, instead of honorable mention, would I have been cum laude, or maybe summa cum laude? You can't help it, but make ba? Like for example, my son, he has allergic rhinitis. I cannot help but think that if I'm from breastfed this month, we tell them, just because you decide to breastfeed and you succeeded in breastfeeding, bili mo na 100% wala na asthma, wala na allergy mo na. Please don't come back to us 6 months later and say, nag-breastfeed man ko, pero tanawa na ako man nag-asthma, na ako man kagirong ko man siya. It's never an end-all and be-all. But you lower the chances that he will get it. And if he does get it, the intensity is lower. Okay, so breast milk is not the golden answer to everything. But it lowers the risk for getting it, and the symptoms are lesser. I was formula fed, sir, also. Romeo.
We have about a couple of minutes before we end up our program this morning. Should have started at 9 o'clock. Anyway, we'll have a meeting at 11, our weekly meeting with Pablo after this. But I am really very interested in the topic also. I understand we need to have them again in our next forum. But that time, we will assure our guests, our two guests here, Elma and Kristy, and Ms. Lloyd, that we will have it covered by TV and the print media and radio broadcasters will be around to really give a full coverage of this important, forum that we have, especially with Ms. Lloyd and Ms. Corbeta around. As a parting statement, let's listen out to our two panelists here. First, let's listen to Ms. Lloyd for parting statement.
statement. Breastfeeding is natural, but it may not come naturally. It is normal for our bodies to be able to feed our babies, but how to do it is a totally different animal. That you need to see, a woman needs to see how breastfeeding is done so that she will know that this is how to do it, and she needs to talk to someone who has done it so she'll have confidence to be able to do it. That's why this Saturday, tomorrow na pala, we have this breastfeeding or a flash mob in Ayala. I'll be leaving this piece of paper so that the gentleman can have more details. It's tomorrow morning at 10:30. We will be breastfeeding our children in the active zone of Ayala together with all the mothers worldwide. We'll be doing this simultaneously. This is the first time that Cebu will be joining this movement worldwide. Mura siya ka ng worldwide na, who has done a worldwide thing? Let's say, simultaneous worldwide, everybody does it at the same time. So, for breastfeeding na siya, and this is the first time that Cebu will be joining. Last year, and last 2 years, it was only Manila. It is not for us to bare our breasts and say, oh, we're breastfeeding. It's not like that. We're not like activist style, bare your boobs, ring the gates of commerce. No, we're not. We are not tree huggers, we are not save the whales, that kind of people. We are normal people, we work, we're mothers, we're wives, we are business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we are professionals. We are just doing what we think is best for our babies, so we encourage mothers to make an informed choice. Ask around. Ask the saktupod na tao. Don't ask somebody who has not breastfed or who will say negative things about breastfeeding because you probably won't succeed if those are the things you hear. Surround yourself with people who you want to be with. It's the same concept. So tomorrow I hope you can join us or help promote the activity tomorrow. It's 10 or 10:30 at Ayala Active Zone. It is to show the public that yes, it can be done, yes, we have succeeded, and yes, it is okay to do it in public. It is time to come out of the toilet because we used to have to breastfeed in the toilet and pump and use our breast pumps in the toilet. Kung for the LGBT community, they have to come out of the closet.